At this point, Jerry Williams going to the experience and putting Lloyd in at the middle linebacking position. First and goal to go, Ron Johnson. Touchdown, Giants.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, now we got another another one. Mike Mayock. 3 years he was the GM of the Raiders, and he just got the axe. So now we have got like I think it's 4 teams now looking for GMs. What I'm reading. I don't quite know why. I mean, I haven't really. I mean, he just got fired, so I'm not exactly sure. It's his first year with the Raiders. He was 7-9. You know, nothing super spectacular. Well, you know, his second year with the Raiders, he went from 7-9 to 8-8. Nothing humongous, but I mean, you know, but they were going in the right direction. Unlike the Giants. The Giants were, 6-10, and we went to 4-13. You know, I mean, if Judge was like 8-8, whatever, I mean, going in the right direction. I mean, he'd probably still have a job. But anyway, so he went from 7-9 to 8-8, Mike Mayock, and then this year they were 10-7, and they made the playoffs. I mean, of course, they lost. They had a good game. Carr threw that interception at the end. Good, really good. Yeah, that's what you love to say. I mean, especially 2 new teams in the playoffs, exciting game, really, really great game. Comes down like the last minute. Fantastic football. I mean, I don't really care much who won either. Either team won, but just a good game. And there's some teams like with the Raiders, and when the Raiders are good, the league is a great play. Yeah, I mean, whether you like them or not. But I mean, it's good to see the Bengals in there, Joe Burrow, some fresh air in there too. You know what I mean? It's just a good quality game. But I mean, they wind up, they said the Raiders wind up losing. Now I don't know if it's because, they think Mayock's not doing a good job, or because Chucky, aka Gruden, got canned. They just want to kind of wipe the slate clean and just bring in a whole, like what the Giants are doing, right? They get rid, the GM is gone. They get rid of the coach, and bring in everything brand new. I'm not exactly sure. The one thing, I mean, like with Mayock, I mean, it was kind of one of the things. I mean, because he's been on like the sports, the football channels and all of that and everything. And like draft day, he's always on there. Well, he was. I mean, not the past 3 years because he's been with the Raiders, but before that, he's always on there. And he always has like information on like almost all the players. Some dude out of Idaho State, a guard, and Mike Mayock. Yeah, he's 6'3", 242 pounds. He's he's a little tight in the hips. He does this. He's good. He does that. He's he's good at explaining what the guys do and all that and everything. I mean, I'm not so sure how great of a talent evaluator he is. Because he's had 6 first-round picks in his 3 years with the Raiders. 4 of them have been just busts. If you're gonna bust, make him in the 3rd or 4th rounds. But he had 2019. He had 3 first-round picks. 2020 he had 2. This last year he had 1, and this one that he had this year. Alex Leatherwood, I mean, he had a brutal season. I mean, Jonathan Abram, the safety, and Josh Jacobs, 2019. Those are the 2 guys. He also drafted Cleveland Farrell, number 4 in 2019. I mean, my God. Holy crap. Wow. The other 2 picks they said he had in 2019. Josh Jacobs, he's good. Okay, I mean, you can kind of, question whether or not you should wind up taking a running back in the first round anyway. But I mean, Jacobs has worked out. But I mean, Jonathan Abram has been very good. He's very, very good at safety. All right, so the 2 picks he's had in 2019 were okay. But Cleveland Ferrell picked him number 4 overall. Oh my God. And then 2020, Henry Ruggs. I think we know how he worked out. Oh my God. And then Damon Arnett, the cornerback. He has not worked out very well at all either. And I said, then he picked number 17 this past draft, Alex Leatherwood. I didn't see anybody out of this 452,000 mock drafts there are out there. And there's a mock draft. Everybody's changed their mock drafts every day. So every day you look, I don't think I saw one time where Alex Leatherwood was mocked in the first round, and he took him pick number 17, and he's had a very bad year. So I mean, he's had some brutal picks. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But anyway, Mike Mayock. I guess you'll be seeing him on either ESPN or maybe on the NFL Network once again. So now the Raiders now looking for a GM. So you got the Giants, you got the Raiders, you got the Vikings, and you got the Bears looking for a GM. So. Luckily for the Giants, the Raiders just got rid of Mike Mayock, so they're going to start their look tomorrow. Okay, thankfully, or shall I say, Tuesday or Wednesday. I guess they're going to start, but I mean, they can't wait too long because some of the good guys are going to start getting taken. So yesterday, the Giants just wrapped up. They talked to the 2 guys, Rand Carthon and Adam Peters from the 49ers. Because they couldn't talk to them on Sunday because the 49ers just got done kicking the Cowboys' ass. Yeah! So on Sunday. So they talked to Rand Carthon, who just happened to be the son of the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Maurice Carthon. Great blocker, boy, I'll tell you. Great blocker. And then Adam Peters. So the Giants got done pretty much with their 9 guys. Kevin Abrams, I don't think, as far as I know, he got an interview. And then, you get some of the guys, like Louis Riddick and all of that, So I think they got their 9 guys. Pretty much, if the 9 guys they got here, if they can't find somebody out of these 9 guys, I don't know if there is somebody out there. Somebody any better than these guys. So hopefully, Tuesday, to the end of the week, they'll bring in, they're gonna whittle their way down from 9 back down to maybe 2, 3 guys or so that they gonna actually bring in and be able to shake hands with instead of having like a Zoom conference with them or something. And they're gonna sit down and talk for probably quite a few hours with each guy, breaking down, how to build a team, the scouting, and they got to do something with the medical or the training or whatever it is, because the Giants are just getting too hurt. It's an absolute joke. My guy was in the beginning of the season, it was like everybody had a hamstring. So-and-so walked onto the field, they popped his hamstring. He'll be out for like a couple months. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. So it'd be interesting to see, what winds up going on with that, if the Giants get any healthier next year and all. But so the Giants they got 9 guys going to whittle their way down to probably 2, 3, maybe 4 at the most. And then hopefully maybe by this weekend, we'll have a GM. They don't want to wait too long because it's not, this is not where it's time to be polite. It's time to, get your stuff, get it done, and make a pick. The hell with everybody else. Do what you got to do. Get a pick, and get your guy in there, right, and make a choice. Right? You wait too long, somebody picks one of these other guys, and you're like, oh, I wanted him. Tough. You're shit out of luck, brother. You got Ryan Poles now with the Chiefs. He's being sought after. I think by the Giants, the Bears, and the Vikings. So, all right. So they're gonna make. Dude's only 36 years old. He's executive director of player personnel. Now with him, he might want to bring with him Eric, the enemy, right? Which would be fantastic because Eric could work on the offense, which is what the Giants. I don't know who they would have as a defensive coordinator or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe even Patrick Graham might still be. I mean, he's still here as far as I know. So I mean, if we brought Eric Bieniemy and we had Patrick Graham on the defense, I think things would certainly be looking up. I mean, really certainly looking up. But I mean, as I said, if we could bring in a new coach as somebody with the offense who deals with the offense, that would be huge. Then the Giants just wrapped up. I think just the 9 guys. Yesterday talked with Rand Carthon and Adam Peters. Now Adam Peters is the 49ers assistant GM, and he's a very good talent evaluator. A lot of people say that he's the one who makes the picks, like when I'm reading and all that, not so much like John Lynch. John Lynch is the GM, but I mean apparently Adam Peters is the one picking the talent. So, and apparently when I was reading, the 49ers really don't want to let the guy go. I mean, but it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, it's like, I mean, you got a GM, it's John Lynch, and then you get, I mean, it's, the guy's assistant GM. If another teams are going to, want to hire him as a GM, it's, so if he gets picked, though, I don't know who he would wind up bringing in as a coach. I mean, I don't know so much about Rand Carthon. I don't think he's as decorated as Adam Peters is. I mean, I think as time goes by, he certainly wants to be a GM, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. But I kind of think that right now, if you have how well the 49ers are playing, all right, they just lost their defensive coordinator last year. I mean, they're still doing phenomenal this year. They just keep seeming to get more and more talent. They're doing a phenomenal job, and a lot of that starts with Adam Peters. Rand Carthon will probably get his chance somewhere along the line, but I think the more decorated guy out of the two right now is Adam Peters. So keep an eye out for Adam Peters. Then you got Joe Shane with Buffalo. All right, apparently he did a great job last Wednesday. I think he was the first interview we had. The Giants was last Wednesday. Now he apparently knocked it out of the park. He did a great job apparently, but he's also interested the Bears too, and so is Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator. So as I said, this is time to get your stuff up and get whoever you want to bring in, get him in for an interview and start taking get your guy. But apparently he did a really good job. And you can certainly see, where, I mean, if he brought in Dable, the offensive coordinator, as the coach, now you got somebody working with the offense, which would wind up being huge once again. Then the Giants also talked to Adrian Wilson and Quentin Harris from the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that they have any, those two have any interest from any other teams from what I was reading. And if either one of those guys were hired, I don't know who they would wind up bringing in as a coach at all. But I don't think anybody has any interest in talking to either one of those guys. So I mean, I'm not sure if those guys will wind up being brought in. For the final round. You got Joe Ortiz with the Ravens, director of player personnel. Now what I was reading, that the Ravens are kind of afraid of losing him. I mean, he's been with the Ravens since 1998. All right, he's been, apparently they're going to interview him as the Bears are going to interview him as well. So I mean, you get these top guys. It's just not all that's not all for the Giants. So I mean, if he's interested in him, the Giants want to get him in and make sure they get talking to him before somebody else winds up signing him. He would probably wind up bringing in possibly for coach the defensive coordinator Don Wink Martindale. So he would be defensive coach. So I mean, that would be so obviously Patrick Graham would be gone. I mean, he would probably handle the defensive side. I don't know who would be the offensive coordinator would be. I mean that's huge with the Giants because it's like we got the pieces, for the defense. Obviously, you need a coach obviously to be the coordinator and all that for the defense. But I mean, we got to do something with the offense. That's why I'm saying somebody like Bieniemy, to bring him in, or Dable with the Bills, an offensive minded coach, to bring him in. That would wind up being huge. Now the thing is with Ortiz is what makes him so special is he's been with the Ravens for so long. The Ravens do a phenomenal job, like at trading back. It's something the Giants really don't do a whole heck of a lot. In the last 12 drafts, all right, in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, the last 12 drafts, the Giants have had 40 picks. The Giants in the 3rd round in the last 12 drafts have had 15 picks. In the 4th round, they've had 13 picks. And in the 5th round, they've had 12 picks. So basically, in the 4th round, the 5th round, they've had like 1 pick, for each year. And then in the 3rd round, they've had 15 picks over the past 12 drafts. They've had 40 picks in the last, the last 12 drafts in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. Well, the Ravens in the 3rd round, the past 12 drafts, they've had 21 3rd-round picks. The Giants have had 15. The Ravens have had 25 4th-round picks. Giants have had 13. They've had twice as many 4th-round picks as the Giants have. And in the 5th round, the Ravens have had 19 picks. The Giants have only had 12 in the 5th round. So in the past 12 drafts in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, the Ravens have had 65 picks compared to the Giants' 40. I mean, that's 25 extra players. Not that they all make the team and all that, I get that, but it's 25 extra players. That's almost half a team. It just, by just sheer numbers, you're going to, get a couple guys here or there. Just by chance, just by the numbers, And if you're good at evaluating talent, holy cow, that's where you make your money. I mean, the 1st and 2nd round, those are the guys that you should really hit on. If you can't hit on those guys as a GM, you ain't going to be a GM very long. Like maybe possibly Mike Mayock or possibly Dave Gettleman, But, if you can hit on the 1st and 2nd, that's what you really should do. I mean, those are the guys that are supposed to be almost plug-and-play guys, 1st and 2nd round, especially 1st rounds. But where you make your money as a 3rd round, a 4th round, a 5th round, is the later on ones, the ones that can come in and help the team and be very cheap, very affordable. And the thing is, one of the other things, the Giants, unlike other teams, the Giants don't re-sign like their third round picks. What I was reading, I was checking this out. The last 3rd round pick that had any significant, for the most part, contributions to the Giants was Mario Manningham, 2008, 3rd round pick, right? The last time the Giants had a 3rd round pick re-signed for their 2nd contract, right? The rookie contract ran up and they re-signed him to another contract. The last time the Giants had that happen was Justin Tuck, 2005. So it was 2020. We're going back 17 years ago since the Giants re-signed a 3rd round pick. I mean, because Lorenzo Carter, right? He's gone. I don't see us re-signing. I mean, he had a phenomenal, but I mean, the way the Giants just keep going through coaches and GM, I'm sure he's not going to be re-signed. Does that make any? I mean, 17 years ago was the last time we drafted a 3rd rounder that we actually re-signed to a 2nd contract. I mean, that is freaking absolutely pathetic. That's one of the problems we have with Gettleman, and one of the problems we have with Jerry Reese. Now, Jerry Reese hit a couple guys. The 1st round was just out of the park. He had 2007 was a great draft. He had some good 1st rounders. Phillips, the safety, was a phenomenal. He just got hurt a lot. But I mean, he drafted JPP. Obviously, he drafted JPP. He drafted OBJ. Those guys were like grand slams, out of the park, phenomenal, unbelievable talent. But as the time wore on, the cupboard started getting more and more bare because a lot of his later picks just weren't hitting it. And so then, what he had to wind up doing in 2016 we were let go of Coughlin. We hadn't made the playoffs in a few years. So what's he do? He goes to Gurley World and he just starts spending like crazy. We got the Jackrabbit in here at cornerback. We got Snacks Harrison at defensive tackle. Olivier Vernon on the edge there, right? Start spending some money. It paid off the 1 year, but then after that, went down the dumper. You know. So but you have to go out and spend like crazy because why? Because you're not drafting good, and that was the problem with Jerry Reese, is that the cupboard isn't. It just got bare with him. Now you realize Jerry Reese's last draft with us was 2017. Evan Ingham's a free agent. All right, so basically he's not on the Giants anymore. So as of right now, the Giants do not have anybody from 2017 on back on their team. Anybody that Jerry Reese drafted 2017 on back is no longer on the Giants. They're on other teams, but they're not on the Giants. So the Giants just don't, they just don't re-sign their guys. I mean, and you can't run an organization like that. So I mean, so just keep an eye on Joe Ortiz. He's somebody else too. And then of course, then you got the two guys they signed was two guys that they brought in from the Titans, Monty Ossenfort and Ryan Cowden. The Vikings apparently are interested in Monty Ossenfort. I don't think Cowden, I don't think there's anybody interested in him at all. Ossenfort's only 43. Ossenfort, the thing is with him, see, if Judge was still here, Ossenfort might be the guy maybe because Ossenfort and Judge overlapped in New England. So they both kind of come from the same mindset. They both kind of maybe have the same vision, all that. So Ossenfort might be, one of the guys that they would certainly bring back for a final interview. But since Judge is gone, it's a little bit up in the air. But I mean, Ossenfort is certainly somebody still to be reckoned with. Now Ossenfort, when he was with New England, overlapped with Brian Flores, Dable, the Bills offensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator from the Pats, now Josh McDaniels. Although I'm not, he didn't do too well when he was with the Broncos, so I'm a little leery about that. And he also overlapped with the linebacker Gerard Mayo, the linebackers coach for the Patriots too. So those guys have got like head coaching, aspirations, especially Flores. So if Ossenfort gets in here, look for possibly maybe a B-Flow or Brian Flores, maybe to be the head coach. But I mean, these guys are so young; it's simply amazing. I mean, if you can get one of these guys, and if you can just take your time, not take too much time, but I mean, think it over, get the right guy in here, knock it out of the park with one of these guys. Man, these guys could be here for a long, long time. I mean, Ryan Poles, 36 years old with the Chiefs. Joe Shane is, he's in his 40s. Joe Ortiz, he's young too. I mean, he's in his 40s. Monty Ossenfort's only 43. Adam Peters is 42. I mean, these guys are young. I think Shane is 42. I think he is. Ortiz, I think, is 46. So, I mean, these guys are young, unlike Gettleman, who was 71, I think it was. I mean, if you can get one of these guys come in, I mean, and if they can just start setting the team up in the right direction and all that and everything, man, you're going to have a good GM for years and years to come. The only problem would be, is if, you got to somewhere later get rid of the coach and you get one, if you bring, Joe Shane in, just saying, if you're trying to clean house again, you might have to get rid of Shane and the coach. But, I mean, if you want to keep it, if the organization is done correctly with the scouting and all of that and everything, and you get one of these GMs in here, nice young GMs, boy, I mean, you could have a GM for a couple decades. I mean, Poles is 36. Could you imagine him 20 years? He'd only be 56 years old. So, I mean, if we had Poles until he was old as Gettleman, we'd have Poles for 35 years, right? So, but anyways, look for the guy. Today's Tuesday. They're all done with their interviews, so look for either today or tomorrow, hopefully at the latest, for them that something to come out where they whittled it down to 2 or 3 finalists. So the guys that I'm looking at would be maybe Ossenfort, Ortiz definitely with the Ravens, Shane with the Bills, Adam Peters with the 49ers, and then Poles with the Kansas City Chiefs. So out of those, I'm looking at those 5. Out of those 5, I mean, look for maybe 2 or 3 of those guys to be finalists. And then hopefully by the end of this week, hopefully we'll have our GM. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!